ABC 10 News at 7 starts now.
Tonight, San Diego restaurants are considering reopening after a local judge clarified that they're included in his big ruling yesterday over strip clubs. Good evening. I'm Lindsay Pena. Kim and Steve are off tonight. ABC 10 News reporter Jennifer Kastner listened in on the last-minute court hearing this afternoon, which the state likely plans to appeal.
Thursday afternoon, San Diego Judge Joel Woolfield clarified in a hearing that his Wednesday night ruling over strip clubs affects restaurants too.
All businesses which provide restaurant service, meaning all restaurants in the County of San Diego, are encompassed within the scope of the court's order. It's not limited to plaintiffs who also provide restaurant service, but it is intended to encompass all restaurants within the County of San Diego.
The lawsuit was only filed over strip clubs. The judge wrote in Wednesday's ruling that the owners of Pacers and Cheetahs can stay open while their case against the county and the state moves through the courts. The judge decided there is no evidence that they've led to increased spread or risk of COVID-19. That part of the ruling was clear, but what was unclear was how that decision affected restaurants. That's because the judge then wrote that the ruling applies to businesses with restaurant service like the strip clubs have, provided they follow safety protocols. As you heard, Thursday, the judge clarified that his ruling encompasses all San Diego restaurants. San Diego County officials said Wednesday that because of this ruling, they would not enforce restaurant restrictions until they got clarification. Thursday, legal analyst Dan Eaton said the county will have to decide if it wants to appeal.
The Court of Appeal does not have to take this appeal. The court can decide not to take the appeal and let the matter play out through trial, which is many, many months away. Or the Court of Appeal can decide, given the stakes and interest involved, we're going to take a look at this and issue a clarifying ruling.
Thursday, the San Diego County Board of Supervisors announced it's holding an emergency closed session meeting on Friday. Jennifer Kastner, ABC 10 News.
Tonight, the county said that it expects the state to file an appeal to that ruling. Now, ahead of the county's emergency hearing tomorrow, we talked to Supervisor Nathan Fletcher on ABC 10 News at 5. He says tomorrow's vote to join the state's appeal is simply symbolic.
It has no impact because the state of California has already appealed the ruling. And so tomorrow we'll have a meeting, we'll have a lot of callers, there'll be a lot of posturing, but it has no impact at all as the case has already been appealed by the state of California.
Fletcher also made a point to question how the judge looped in restaurants in a case involving two strip clubs. Restaurants may have the green light to reopen, but not all of them are choosing to do so. ABC 10 News reporter John Horn spoke to two owners who explain why they're sticking to takeout only.
For Roddy Browning, the pressure is intense.
We lay in bed at 2:30 in the morning going, okay, what am I going to do? What am I going to do tomorrow? What am I going to do the next day?
Browning owns Oceanside's Flying Pig Pub and Kitchen, where sales are down 60% and employees have been reduced from 30 to 12. Reopening for outdoor dining under the new court ruling could boost those numbers.
The state's going to appeal it. And what is the point in opening back up again, right? And then bringing all these people back to work and then saying, oh, guys, the ruling changed.
Don't get him wrong. Browning does plan to reopen under the court order, but he wants to respect the full 3 weeks intended in this latest shutdown order set to complete on the 28th.
This is not about us against them. This is about, we made a choice to stick with, we said we would give the governor his 3 weeks, and I'm going to give him his 3 weeks.
But other San Diego restaurants are planning to remain takeout only until health officials advise otherwise. At Spring Valley's Cali Comfort Barbecue, a gathering place for sports fans, owner Sean Walchef says he's not offering indoor or outdoor dining.
The coronavirus, it's the antithesis of hospitality. Everything we do in our blood is to take care of people.
Walchef cut about half of his staff. He calls it his toughest day as a restaurant owner. But he says Cali Comfort has fully embraced multiple digital ordering systems, helping it to remain profitable amid the pandemic. John Horn, ABC 10 News.
Nearly 110,000 San Diegans worked in county restaurants in October, according to the latest state data available. Numbers for November are expected tomorrow. A San Diego woman who worked for EDD is accused of stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars in unemployment payments. Prosecutors say these pictures show Nikia Gomez withdrawing money using EDD debit cards she got through fraud. Her boyfriend is in prison for murder. Court documents say he got personal information from other prisoners. Gomez then used her job at EDD to apply for benefits using that information. She pocketed the money. Gomez faces up to 22 years in prison. And here are the latest infection numbers for San Diego County. More than 2,600 new cases were reported today, bringing our total to more than 116,000. And there were 22 new deaths, bringing that total to 1,239. Available ICU capacity for Southern California has dropped to 0. And there are now more COVID patients in the ICU than non-COVID patients. ABC 10 News reporter Jennifer De La Cruz spoke to an ER doctor about how they're managing to treat every patient.
It's a sobering reality for healthcare workers who've been fighting COVID firsthand since March.
I haven't really hugged my wife in almost 9 months.
Dr. Mike Lowe has been working tirelessly back and forth between the ER and ICU at several San Diego hospitals. He says staffing has only gotten worse, with nurse ratios going from 2-to-1 to 3-to-1.
They're working, 6 days straight, 12 hours at a time, working, 100 plus hours a week. That's not normal.
California groups counties into 5 regions as part of the new stay-at-home order. On Thursday, the Southern California region's available ICU capacity hit 0, even though availability for San Diego County is about 16%.
What's happening now is what New York felt, and we never experienced until now.
San Diego hospitals are now holding off on vital treatments for non-COVID patients just to make more room. People who need organ transplants and cancer surgeries are being put on a wait list.
We'll have ICU patients in the ER being held down there because there's no beds upstairs. And that because of that, there's less beds in the ER to treat other patients who have strokes, heart attacks.
While cases are rising, attitudes are changing. Dr. Lowe says public perception of healthcare workers is not what it was when the pandemic first started.
Now they don't care for us anymore. They keep on going out and having parties, drinking, doing things, and getting COVID.
The gift he's asking for heading into the holidays is that everyone simply wear a mask. Jennifer De La Cruz, ABC 10 News.
Some restrictions for the stay-at-home order will be eased once ICU availability in our region reaches at least 15%. Doctors and staff at San Diego's Scripps hospitals got their first doses of the COVID vaccine today. Scripps shared this video of the process. Some employees shared why they chose to get the vaccine today.
The fact that I have an opportunity to actually take a vaccine for it and be able to look out also for my 2-year-old daughter.
I decided to do it to protect my loved ones and especially my girlfriend's immune-compromised son, whom I'm around very often.
Scripps says it plans to make the vaccine available to all employees that work in high-risk areas. The teenager accused of murdering a Carlsbad grandmother has pleaded not guilty. 17-year-old faced a judge for the first time during a virtual hearing this morning. Only a judge and lawyers were seen on the call. The teen's identity was not revealed, but through his attorney, he denied the allegations. The teen is accused of stabbing 68-year-old Lisa Thorberg to death at the Hosp Grove Trail in Carlsbad on November 23rd. The next hearing will be on the 22nd. The CHP arrested a 69-year-old man on suspicion of DUI after a crash last night that left a construction worker dead on the 94 in Hamul. CHP officers say a 27-year-old construction worker was directing traffic in a coned construction zone when he was hit by a car. That worker suffered major injuries and was taken to a hospital where he later died. That driver was identified as Arnold Patton, who was booked on charges including DUI and causing death. A new study might be the key to curbing Alzheimer's disease and dementia among older and middle-aged Latinos. More than 9,000 Latinos participated in a local study by UCSD. Researchers found that some who suffered from hearing loss also had some form of cognitive impairment. Those with high blood pressure also showed signs of poor memory and learning skills. A new report by the Lancet Commission estimates an 8% reduction in dementia globally if hearing loss alone is eliminated.